Today, I want to share with you one of the most exciting and in-depth pieces of work the board carried out in 2019. This was the development of the new HS strategy. The strategy was launched by myself and the management team at the management conference in Mallendale in early 2020. This is the pre-season event where all the managers, assistant managers and chefs get together. And I have to say it was extremely well received. And there was a real buzz in the room. You could feel it from the team about the strategy itself. Meanwhile, and subsequently, David did a series of roadshows to ensure everyone else was included, including the leaders. Now, the strategy was due to be launched with a full presentation to the AGM last April, but then along came the pandemic. Interestingly, the strategy really came into its own then and was hugely beneficial in giving structure to the often difficult decisions we had to make to help mitigate the effects of COVID on HF. Now, the whole process that we adopted for the strategy was very collaborative between the management team and delegated board directors. It involved a comprehensive review of the 2020 goals, i.e. what went well and perhaps not so well. We involved marketing at an early stage on the visual representation, and we undertook analysis of relevant research that we had. We looked at competitor strategies, market trends, and team survey data. So that was basically getting to grips with what our people were saying that they wanted from the strategy. And of course, this strategy has to be relevant to a wide audience. Not only is it for the internal teams, it's also for you, the members and guests, as well as for the board. Now, what did the new strategy set out to achieve? Well, we have to be mindful of what the previous strategy in 2020 achieved, which was a lot really. It really worked well. What it did, it was give focus, it laid out the priorities, gave consistency and a common understanding. It was measurable, and importantly, it resulted in improved performance over the 5-year strategy period. You can almost chart it as performance improved, which really is the acid test. Now, what we wanted from the new strategy when we set out here, our objectives were, we felt that 5 years was too long a timeline. So this strategy is for 3 years. We wanted to be an evolution of the previous successful strategy. We also wanted it to be not steady state, but be growth orientated. We felt there had to be less goals. 20 was too many, we thought. It has to be visually appealing, and it has to be measurable so that the KPIs can flow through to business plans. So here it is. This is our new strategy, and we're calling it the Strategy for Growth, as I mentioned earlier. Now, you'll notice here that it's split into 3 different colours in the centre, and there are 3 strategic priorities, which are product, performance and people. That's what we're calling the 3 Ps. And just below those, moving towards the centre, there are 9 goals. So we now move from the 20 goals we had before to be much more focused with 9 goals. And interestingly, it's very action orientated because it's written that you can put "we will" in front of any of those goals. So we will develop our next generation, we will drive sustainability, we will introduce smarter processes. And I think the action part of it is important. Now I'd like to take you through each of the section in turn, just to explain what our strategy will means. This is very much the bullseye. If you can imagine this is a dartboard, this is the bullseye that we're aiming at. And it did a lot of work actually to arrive at the right wording on this. but actually we think this works incredibly well. Building our tomorrow. Building because, as I said before, it is a growth strategy. Our, because it's very collaborative. Everybody needs to work together. And tomorrow. The tomorrow we want is what we lay out in our vision, which is to remain an independent, self-sustaining society. And on the next level out from building our tomorrow, you'll see we've also put a ring there about guests being at our heart. Guest-centric, customer-centric is also extremely important to us. I'd now like to take you through each of the strategic priorities, starting with product, which we've highlighted there on the slide, just to the left. Now, this has 3 goals. The first one is enhance the holiday experience. And this means ever improving product range, listening to customers' needs, of course, exemplary customer service across everything that we do, and also ensuring that we have a consistent customer journey. And that means at any touch point where the customer joins us, even if it's a new customer who for the first time has picked up a brochure, going all the way through booking and so on through the holiday to leaving us, that it's a consistently good process that they're experiencing. Second one is to drive abroad growth, and we thought this was so important it deserved its own goal. Now, for the last few years, we've had very strong performance in the UK, but abroad had not been quite as strong. And in order to improve that, we need to establish and be very clear on our target audience, potential target audience. We need to develop a rich overseas product to go with that and to appeal to that market. And we need strong marketing and pricing strategy to go with that. And the third area, this is critical, developing our next generation, bringing in younger guests. And to achieve that, we need to understand what this new audience may want versus our traditional guests. And we also seamlessly need to blend that. So it's important that we know that. We want, therefore, clearly targeted product range that appeals to both of those sectors. And once again, a compelling and effective marketing strategy. Now, with some of our younger guests, digital, frankly, is going to be even more important. A lot of booking now is done by mobile phones, as we know. The next sector is performance. Now here, the first goal is smarter processes. And that is effectively about being more efficient at what we do, controlling our cost base. And that means integrated, seamless, and wherever possible, paperless. Our systems and what the departments are doing should be talking to each other on a very regular basis, but a lot of that could now be done digitally rather than through paper. We need to develop an efficient business culture, and we need to develop our digital capability. We're calling it a digital transformation for the reasons I've just said. And frankly, digital is the way that the travel market is going more and more. Now, we've invested a lot of money in this already, and we will continue to invest in this area. The next one is improved profitability. What we mean by that is a sustainable return that enables investment back into the business, the development of a robust financial strategy, and to undertake product commercial appraisals. That means as we launch new products, there need to be pre and post appraisals on everything that we do. And the last goal here is to protect and grow our assets. Now, our main assets here that we're focusing on are our brand. The brand is very important. We have a very strong brand. Maybe we could, probably, we would want to grow awareness of that brand because it's very strong for those people who know us, but not enough people know about us. This is where we've got developing our estate, which means ensuring that we do regular refurbishments and keep our estate up to standard. And again, we've been investing a lot in those areas recently. And lastly, one of our most important assets, our membership. You, our members. Last but not least, definitely not least, is people. We are a people organized business. We revolve around our people. And the first goal here is to deliver cooperative excellence. That means an engaged and active membership. We want to celebrate our cooperative values. We don't make enough of the fact that we're a cooperative sometimes. And we need effective governance, and ever more effective governance. And that's one of the reasons why we intend to bring certain rule changes forward to an SGM in the future. We need to provide an inspiring place to work, and that means empowered and engaged teams and leaders. As well as that, making the most of our strong values to be a values-led culture. And then drive sustainability. And we know you members tell us that sustainability is very important too. And this is where we'll be concentrating on our environmental impact, our part that we play in the community, and then it will lead to a social responsibility strategy that will be developed to drive that forward still further. Now, what are the enablers that are going to allow us to do this? And some of these enablers are also goals as well, but I won't read them out. They're on the page there, but these are the main enablers that we believe will give us success in the implementation of the strategy. Okay, so that's a roundup of going around the strategy wheel. And I just want to say a closing few words to you. So as I say, I do hope you found that interesting overall. The intention was, of course, when we set this strategy up, was to progress all of the goals at the same speed. But due to the pandemic, we have understandably had to give extra weight to some of them, such as financial stability, for fairly obvious reasons. However, the implementation is expected to be back on track in 2021, and the strategy will therefore run through now to 2024. Thank you very much for your time.